Big Future is a free online planning guide that helps you take the right first step after high school. Plus, Big Future can help you win money for college when you plan for college and careers. Sophomores, juniors, and seniors are eligible to win Big Future scholarships, regardless of GPA, test scores, citizenship status, or financial situation. Thousands of students just like you have already won, and you could be next. To earn a chance for yourself, just log into Big Future and complete one of these 6 important steps. With each completed step, you'll earn a chance at a $500 or $40,000 scholarship every month. The more steps you take, the more chances you have to win. To learn more and get started, log into Big Future today.
Good evening and welcome to Big Future Scholarships Week. My name is Nehemiah and I am a $40,000 Big Future Scholarship winner. And I'm so excited to be kicking off Big Future Scholarships Week with our first event, Find Your Passion, Win Big. Thank you so much for joining us today. After a long day at school or work, you could be anywhere, but we're glad you decided to spend this time with us. Big Future Scholarships Week is a special week of live, free events celebrating the launch of Big Future Scholarships. During these events, you can get your questions answered about choosing a career and the education you need to reach it, and learn how sophomores, juniors, and seniors can qualify for monthly $500 and $40,000 scholarships from Big Future. A little bit more about me. Once again, my name is Nehemiah, and I'm a sophomore at the University of Michigan, and I'm originally from New York City. I am a computer science major and math minor, and I interned as a software engineer at HubSpot this past summer in Boston, and this summer I'll be interning at Robinhood in California. Also, once again, I won a $40,000 Big Future scholarship simply by taking the steps to plan for life after high school, and you can too. Now, we all know that everyone wants to find a career that they're passionate about, but how do you know where to start? Today, we're joined by experts at Google and current college students to answer your questions about exploring careers and finding your passion. So get your questions ready and welcome to Big Future Scholarships Week.
Thank you so much, Nehemiah, and thank you to all the students, parents, and caring adults for joining us this evening. Welcome to a very, very special event tonight of Big Future Scholarships Week. Find your passion, win big. Now, my name is Greg Rafal, and I work on the Big Future team, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. The Big Future team is a team of former educators, parents, college and career planning pros, and other folks who are really just committed to helping all students take the right first step after high school. Now, as Nehemiah said, our goal during Big Future Scholarships Week is to answer your questions. So you won't sit through a long presentation. You're not going to see a whole bunch of PowerPoint slides today. This is really a virtual community powered by students, parents, caring adults, and of course, your questions. And tonight is really special. It's a special edition because not only will you hear from our friends at Google about how to start exploring careers, you'll also hear how sophomores, juniors, and seniors can qualify for $500 and $40,000 Big Future scholarships. And hey, you can even earn an entry for our scholarship drawing while you're watching today's event, and we're going to show you how. Now, we have a lot of folks with us today, which is really cool. But we want to know who is joining. So we're going to launch our first quick poll today. So you're going to see a poll launch on your screen. If you're a student, tell us what grade are you in? And if you're a parent or caring adult, tell us what grade your child is in. So we'll give you a few seconds to respond to that survey. Again, if you're a student, tell us, are you in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade? And then for our parents out there, or caring adults, if you're there, what grade is your student in? And we have some responses coming in already. Let's see here, and it's still moving around. You folks are still answering. We have a little over 50% of our audience is 11th graders. We have about 40% as 10th graders as well. We have a few 9th graders, 2 freshmen getting started early. That's great. and a few 12th graders as well, I'm sure trying to think about their next steps as they start their first step after high school. Thank you all so much. Again, we have about 60% of 11th graders here. The good news here is no matter if you're in 9th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, Big Future Scholarships Week is for everyone. So thanks so much for joining today. And with that, let's meet our speakers for today. And so I'd like to pass it to our moderator for this evening, Tarlin Ray, who is our Senior Vice President of Big Future.
Thanks, Greg. Exciting to be here. Welcome everyone to this special event. As Greg said, my name is Tarlin Ray. I lead the Big Future team. And as Nehemiah said, and Greg, this is exciting for us because this kicks off the Big Future Scholarship Week. Not only that, but I think this is the coolest title and the coolest topic, how you find your passion, how do you win big? So we have some interesting folks that have a lot to share on this panel today. We have folks from Google. As Nehemiah mentioned, he's going to come back. We have a current college student and a Big Picture Scholarship winner. He's going to talk about his experiences. We're also going to talk about, as Greg mentioned, how do you take steps so you also can qualify for a scholarship. But I have now taken up too much time. We only have 45 minutes, and this is going to go fast. So I do want to make sure we meet the panelists. But first, I want to get your name, where you work, what your current title is, and a fun fact. And at the end, Nehemiah will come back to you because you didn't give us a fun fact. We want to make sure we have it as well. So we're going to start with you, Cassie. We love to meet you.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody. I'm Cassie. I manage strategic partnerships at Google for a team called Grow with Google. We work on alternative career certificates and pathways, so super excited to be chatting with you all. I'm calling in from New York, but my fun fact is I didn't always live in New York. I actually grew up on a family farm in Illinois. So I'm actually the 6th generation, very, very much a family farm. And I will pass it to Molly, my colleague.
Hold on, I'm passing. I'm getting to pass.
Sorry. Actually, I want to pass.
And that's one fact. I wish I had known that in the prep. Okay, you can pass it to Molly. You're right, Cassie. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Molly. Currently working as a consultant at Google on Cassie's team, on the Google Career Certificates team. We work on the employer relations team, so working with lots of different employers who look to hire graduates who have taken some of our certificates, which we can chat about in a bit. But my fun fact is I have 55 first cousins. So I don't think I've ever found anyone that has more first cousins than me, but maybe some people in the audience do. But people always ask if I even know them, and I know them all. 3 of them even texted me today for my address for Christmas cards. So.
Molly and Cassie, you're crushing the fun facts. Nehemiah, why don't you round us out with a fun fact before I pass it back to Greg?
Yeah, so my fun fact is that I'm a competitive table tennis player. So I compete nationally and also in college nationally. I guess in April, we had our national tournament and we beat Yale and Stanford and placed 9th in the country overall in terms of like the University of Michigan. And individually, I'm ranked top 200 under 21 in America. So that's my fun fact.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to have to work on my fun facts. I'm going to go back to Greg. I think you have some more housekeeping items for us before we get into the panel.
Thanks so much, Tarlin. And yes, great fun facts. We have a celebrity table tennis player on the call today too, which is awesome. But just some housekeeping before we dive into really the meat of our event. During today's event, you're going to be in listen-only mode. That means that you can see us, but unfortunately we can't see you. But that doesn't mean that we don't want to hear from you. So there is an Ask a Question box at the bottom of your screen where you can type in your questions. Now, Big Future Scholarships Week, I'll say it again, is all about answering your questions. So please don't be shy. But there are also a lot of folks on the call today. So we're going to try to get to as many questions as possible. And we can see that many of you are already typing your questions in. So please continue to do that. And then finally, we'll also have a feedback survey at the end of the event. because we want to know how today's session went so we can make these events even better in the future. So please fill out that feedback survey once you get it. And finally, if you miss anything during today's event, you have to walk away from your computer or your phone, don't worry. The recording is going to be available online on demand at bigfuture.org/live, so you can rewatch it there as well. And guess what? Today is only night one of Big Future Scholarships Week. So you can join us tomorrow at the same time during our next event, Your College, Your Way, where we're going to talk all about applying to college and finding the college that's right for you. We'll have representatives from New York University and the University of Texas at Austin. So make sure you stay tuned for that later this week. Now, I'll say it again, Big Future Scholarships Week is all about answering your questions. But before we get there, I have one other question for you. We want to know what topics you're most interested in hearing about today. So tell us, what topics are you most interested in hearing about? You're going to see a poll pop up on your screen. Are you interested in hearing about how to qualify for Big Future Scholarships? Are you interested in more advice about how to actually start looking for a career that's right for you? Are you here because you want resources? Or do you really want to get a student's perspective and hear from Nehemiah, like what it's like to be in college and start thinking about your career? Go ahead and answer that quick poll on the screen. And we already have some answers popping in for us. It looks like about 45% of you are looking for resources to help you get started. Well, that's great because we definitely have some resources to share. We have about 20% of you just want to know how to choose a career. And we have some really great folks here at Google who can definitely give their insights there. And then some other folks are looking for how to choose a major, and of course, folks want to get some advice from Nehemiah as well. So it sounds like it really runs the gamut, but most of you are really looking for how to find some resources there. So let's get back to these questions. Let's dive right in. And with that, Tarlin, I'll pass it back to you.
All right, we're back. All right, we had a first question that came in from Josephine. Thank you. What steps can you take to be successful in finding a good college major? Nehemiah, why don't you answer that for us?
Yeah, for sure. I would split my answer into two parts. One, why I chose computer science, and what I think would be good advice to finding a college major. So personally, I chose computer science because I really loved two aspects of it. One is the creativity. I love that I kind of have the ability to build whatever I want in terms of software, and I'm only limited my own imagination, and so like an example of that would be I really wanted to learn how to build a mobile app, and so I kind of made a fun side project, made a dating app kind of combining LinkedIn and Tinder. And the second part would be I love problem solving, and so I think just taking computer science classes, I find it so beautiful, these algorithms and how they're executed. I just think whoever created them are so smart. And yeah, I personally just really love computer science. I'm really happy that I found something that I really enjoy. And in consideration of my advice, I definitely think there are a lot of resources in trying to figure out your college major. For one, you can probably use the internet at your disposal, look at some career quizzes or major quizzes, read some blogs about how other people's experiences are in their major and career. Personally, I think networking is super important. Just asking older family members, other college students about what type of majors they tried out and enjoyed and what makes them love their major. And I think thinking long-term is pretty important too. If you have a long-term goal in mind, break it down into smaller, more obtainable goals and see what type of major can get you towards what you're ultimately trying to achieve. And so hopefully that helps you find your major.
Yes, folks, only a sophomore. I'm trying to think back to when I was a sophomore. My answer would not be the same. But one thing I loved is you had experience in school through your subject matter, but you're also curious. And so you were going into your own passion and sort of expose something you're interested in. So that's a really cool to see. I do want to go to the next question, and I apologize in advance if I'm not saying your name correctly. Adonai, I think. What are ways you can actually dig in to find your passion? What things can we participate in? What actions should we take? So Cassie, that's for you. Finding your passion. What things can we participate in? What actions should we take?
Yeah, it's such a good question. And finding your passion, I think, is something that you're always seeking. It's something that you kind of feel, and it's an action. It's more in your heart than in your head. But thinking about it is always helpful to think about actions and skills you can make that align with maybe what your passion is. So my advice is start doing things that you love, and what does that feel like? And eventually you'll find skills and experience that intersect, and you'll start feeling that, kind of synergy and that magic. And I think now more than ever is a time to really lean into all of the resources that you have here and online and start building those two things together. So I'd start first with what you love to do, because the available opportunities are always changing. So if you lead there, you'll find other skill sets and resources to complement it along the way.
Yeah, I think the great thing about resources, it also doesn't need to cost thousands of dollars for your exploration to start. And I know Google makes a big effort to create an opportunity and exposure without having a big price tag. So really lean on the resource side. We are getting a ton of questions right now, and they're great. We have a lot of questions about how to win a Big Future scholarship. And Greg will be back on soon to explain how you can qualify for a scholarship from Big Future, how you need to complete the steps in the dashboard, who you automatically qualify for monthly drawings for $540,000. So more to come there. Appreciate the questions coming in. I promise, though, more to come. We'll go to the next question that we have coming in. This one for you, Molly. Thank you, Amelia. I want to major and minor in multiple different subjects, pathways, but don't know which to choose. How should I narrow down what to major and minor in?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I also think that this is kind of piggybacking off of what Cassie said. Really, career exploration, I think the biggest thing is like finding something that you're passionate about and that you would want to do for your whole life. And a big step in that is finding the classwork and all of that that comes with creating a major. But also it's not completely linear and it's not a permanent decision. I know when I started school, I thought I wanted to work in public relations. And then I took a marketing class that I had never done marketing before. And that really sparked what my interests were in. So I think, narrowing it down to what you're passionate about, but then also knowing you might be able to go in undeclared. You don't have to make the decision right off the bat. But I do think taking certificates or, coursework similar to the Google Career Certificates is a good way to get your feet wet and explore different pathways and see if that's something that you would want to pursue, but at a lower cost.
I think it's great. And one thing, because there's so many options out there, I'll add something as a non-panelist, but committing to something also helps because there's so many different areas and places you can go. But knowing that it's not linear, I think that's an awesome line, Molly, but commit to something now, it'll open up different pathways you don't even know exist in the future. So we're going to keep going. Nehemiah, the next question's for you. This is from Matthew. What resources can we use to find our passions in future majors? What tools did you use or do you recommend?
Yeah, so I touched on this a little bit before. I think still the main answer, talking and networking to advisors, friends and families, and older people and their experiences are my favorite ways to know more about career and what they're passionate about. I personally also like watching a lot of YouTube videos on their careers. And I guess mainly, I think I also like to think long term. I feel like a major is more of a stepping stone in what you really want to do in life. And so I personally am really interested in machine learning or entrepreneurship or finance. And so my computer science major kind of opens the doors for me to try out all these fields. And it's kind of more of a foundation and stepping stone for bigger and greater things. And I guess I encourage everyone to just think about what they really want to do in their life, what makes them get out of bed, what they're passionate about, what they truly love to do, and what they think will make their lives meaningful, you know?
That's awesome. The next question, I promise this question didn't come up because it's from Torin, and I'm Tarlin. This is the closest I've ever seen to the name, but this is for Cassie. I'm currently interested in the computer science programming area of careers right now, but my high school is quite rural and not well funded, so our math program is a bit degraded compared to other schools. Well, there's areas of math that I look into where I learn outside of school. Currently, I've been using Khan Academy. So areas outside, this is a good question for you guys, area outside where you can, for math, where you can look into where she can learn to sort of help her level up.
Yeah, I love that question because I also went to a rural high school, but like Nehemiah said, using YouTube now more than ever, there are other alternative, it's more accessible learning pathways. It's not just your day-to-day and what you learn from an 8 to 3 p.m. in school. So I love that you're currently exploring other pathways, and I'd encourage you to do that, whether it's something short and bite-sized is TikTok, something on YouTube, or even like Molly said, the project that we have the great fortune of working on are Google Career Certificates, and they teach you in-demand skills that are technical like SQL and Python, and even things that are more transferable like how to write an effective email. So just what you're already doing, starting learning outside of the classroom is such a great step. And when you find something that you like learning, you can continue to dive in there, and maybe that is more of your passion and your path. So glad to have that question.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that. I really feel like YouTube is a great resource. I personally learned a lot of web development from YouTube, and it's all free. And I think that's the beauty of the internet these days. You can learn a lot for free now. And I think, if you just work hard, believe in yourself, definitely you can go far.
Awesome. I am now going to go, Molly, you ready? This is from Rebecca. I have big dreams for college. I want at least a master's in subjects like history, journalism, animation, ceramics, etc. But my parents are not very supportive of me pursuing post-secondary education. They said they're willing to help me with an associate's, but they're likely to discourage me from getting a higher degree and therefore wouldn't help me at all with finances. My plan is to get an associate's in dentistry, become a hygienist, save a bunch of money, and go to college as an older student. Wow, this is amazing. However, I'm a bit concerned with scholarships for this because most of them are for fresh out of high school students. If I go to school later, does that mean I won't receive as much aid? Should I start a big degree immediately after graduating, or is it okay to wait? I want to start right away, but because of my parental situation, I face some pressure about it. Not to mention the student loans from the lack of financial help. So really just looking for advice as to steps for you, Molly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. First and foremost, it seems like you already know, what you're passionate about. You already have a career plan in mind, and already, thinking about scholarships and everything, which is great. And even being at something like today is showing you're being proactive about trying to find a scholarship and, trying to figure out what those next steps look like for you. I don't think, later in life that should prevent you from receiving a scholarship. I definitely wouldn't think that way. But also getting an associate's degree is a good first step. But I would encourage you to, get out here like you are today and looking for different types of scholarships and applying for all that you can and being proactive to, potentially go after that 4-year degree. But then on the flip side, there are a lot of different, and Cassie was kind of just tapping into this, there are a lot of alternative pathways to the standard 4-year degree that we're seeing more and more of these days. So I think that that's something that you could also explore as well. That would be a much lower cost option for you. So the certificates, for example, that Google offers is project management, data analytics, UX design, IT support, and digital marketing. So it covers a lot of different pathways. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity for you to also find a lower cost option if it comes to that. But Bert, I applaud you because it's great that you're already here and, seeking out these scholarships.
Truly is an awesome question. It's one of the things, just know at Big Future, as a free resource, we continue to figure out ways that we can expose students to a multitude of pathways and what it takes to get there, along with current scholarships. But you mentioned it's not something that you see some of it in our scholarship tool today. You can see scholarship for even students that have already graduated from high school. So great answer, Molly. Cassie, I'm going to come to you next. Ebony, how can I pick a major/career if my interests vary?
That is a great question. And I almost want to say, don't make this, it's not a mistake. I was in the same boat. I had the privilege of going to college, but I did not know what I wanted to major in. And I think I learned the hard way that, I think Nehemiah, you said earlier, it's very much one part of the equation, but it's not the only equation in most regards, unless there's a very prescriptive major that's only like this one job field. And so I would really look at, if you have a lot of interest, then do a reflection and think back about, what are some of the skills that you've learned along the way and that could parallel there, and how can you really build a career on that? I think thinking about things that you've learned or people that you've worked with and things that excite you can kind of help you start to narrow it down. But just know that whatever major you choose isn't going to be the only one. There are also majors that then lend themselves to those things that you've identified. So if you really like working with people and connecting the dots, maybe you want to do more of a human behavioral type of major. Or if you really, really like design and visualization, maybe there is something more in like a graphic design. But I would just start to think and do a self-reflection and narrow it. But just know that whatever you choose, you're not pigeonholed into that one thing.
It's awesome. So we touched a little bit on majors, careers. And so I do want to pass on to Greg as you think about exploring careers. So Greg, what's another way that students can get started exploring careers?
Yeah, absolutely, Tarlin. And just kudos to everyone here. What a great conversation so far. One way that you can start with exploring careers is by using Big Future. And you can use Big Future to explore careers that really match your interests. We have a short career quiz that helps you think about what you like to do and also recommends 30 potential careers that you can explore further on Big Future. So check out this short video about how to get started.
What do you want to do after high school? Is a big question for any student, and it can be hard to know where to start. Big Future is the free online tool that helps students like you start planning for your future, your way. And our career quiz is a fast and easy way to discover some careers that could be a good match for you. The short quiz asks questions about the kinds of activities you enjoy to discover some careers that might best match your interests. Each career profile has income, education, projected job growth information, which you can sort by to tailor your results. And as you find careers you're interested in, you can save them to your list. Visit bigfuture.org/career quiz today.
So I know there are a lot of questions from folks about how do I actually qualify for Big Future scholarships? And this is Big Future Scholarships Week, so we're excited to share how you can earn chances at $40,000 Big Future scholarships and $500 scholarships right away. And here is how it works. Let me just share my screen here. So 10th and 11th graders, you can log in now to bigfuture.org and take a career quiz. And career quiz is going to look like this. It's about 30 questions. It takes you less than 10 minutes to complete and asks you questions about your interests and what you like to do. So you can see here how easy this quiz is going to be for you to take. Once you take that quiz, you are going to get a list of 30 potential careers that you can explore further on Big Future. And for example, a list might look like this. So you'll see each of these career profiles is going to have a description of that career. It'll give you information like median yearly income, entry education level, projected job growth. And what you can do is actually save these careers that you're interested in to your career list simply by clicking here, add to list, add to list. Let's say one more, add to list. And when you save 3 or more careers to your career list on Big Future, you'll be automatically entered into drawings for $500 and $40,000 Big Future scholarships. And you can do that right now. As you're watching this event, you could take this career quiz, add 3 careers to your career list, and there you go. You have an entry to Big Future scholarships. If you're a 12th grader, you can log into Big Future right now as well. Look at your dashboard and it'll tell you the steps that you can take right now to qualify for $40,000 and $500 scholarships as well. And the most exciting thing about Big Future scholarships is that we will award 2 or more $40,000 scholarships and hundreds of $500 scholarships each month. So the sooner you complete steps on your dashboard, like starting your career list, the more chances you have to win. So 10th and 11th graders, you can log in now to Big Future to qualify right away. 12th graders, you can log in as well. And soon you could be one of our $40,000 scholarship winners, and we could surprise you at your school. So take a look at this video here.
Because you practiced for the SAT on Big Future, you were entered into the scholarship, and we drew your name this month, and you have won a $40,000
Ariana went into Big Future, and she added 6 schools to her college list. Well, guess what, Ariana? You won. You are the winner of a $40,000 Big Future Scholarship Summer College Board. $40,000!
You won a $40,000 scholarship.
This is the right card. If you can't see it, every single one of you are getting $40,000.
$40,000.
I wish I would have known about these programs earlier because I could have been applying last year.
This really just opens up so many more opportunities for me.
I say use it. Give it a chance. You never know what's going to happen. You deserve $40,000 for Big
So sophomores, juniors, seniors, you can learn more at bigfuture.org/scholarships to qualify today. Back to you, Tarlin.
All right. So that video is awesome. We still have a little bit more time. Let's go to you, Nehemiah. This is a question for Isabella. And it really is about how to gain access to job shadowing. Before you get there, why don't you explain first what the internship is? What does it mean to have that internship? How you got yours, and then maybe dive into job shadowing.
Yeah, for sure. So an internship is usually when a company wants to hire some college students for the summer, let them taste what a full-time job is like. And so I had an internship after my freshman year. It was at a company called HubSpot. It was 12 weeks long. They paid for housing. It was an amazing company. I moved to Boston. They had a smoothie bar. It was a really fun experience overall. I worked exactly kind of like a full-time engineer. So I was on a project team that basically gave me the stuff that a full-time hire would do. And I definitely know Google has a very famous internship program. They're very top tier internship program. They have free food, and they have specific programs for freshmen and sophomores too. And yeah, in a lot of fields, there are a lot of internships, and specifically shadowing. I know a lot of my friends have asked just like doctors to shadow, or they also work on research, which is also a way to learn more about the industry. And you can also join like project teams and clubs, and those are very similar to what a day-to-day job would be like.
The last question, because I'm assuming this just fell into your lap. You just woke up one day. It's an internship, HubSpot. How did you get it? What did you do?
Yeah, so for computer science, it's kind of a long process, but basically you apply online, make sure your resume is up to date, and hopefully you get an interview and go through the interview process, and hopefully you get an offer. A little more complicated and detailed than that, but that's like the general gist.
Super helpful. So we're going to go. Cassie, I have a question for you, and depending on time, we may only have one more lightning round question. As I said, this goes super fast. So Cassie, this is from Janina. How did you get into Google, and what did you major in?
Yeah, great question. So as I mentioned earlier, I did not know what to major in. I actually was a double major, though. I started with psychology and then I added on organizational communication. Those are both too broad, but like people-oriented, connecting type of fields. So I actually applied to Google when I was a senior in college, very randomly. Similar to Torin earlier, like I mentioned, I'm from a rural community, so a career in tech was never on my radar. And I actually had taken another job in advertising in Google after graduation and had gotten a call from Google like 6 months later. But it wasn't because of my major. It was very much because of what I did with my time while I was in college. So very similar to how you are right now in high school, and how you choose to spend that time as you're looking for your next journey, I think is so important. So for me, I tutored a lot, both elementary students and even my peers. I also worked at a veterans nonprofit, and those experiences showed that, I was a problem solver and that I could handle and diffuse very complicated and ambiguous situations, and that I could balance all of that while still doing a course load and do fine. And so I think Google really will look for those kind of tendencies of how you really show up and how you treat others and what you do. And I think your major is a big part of it, like I said earlier, but it's more so how you choose to do and wrap around support that coursework.
That's great. So Molly, I come to you, and then we're going to have a last question for all panelists. So Molly, this is from Dylan. What are some of the ways to accumulate college credits if my current high school doesn't offer dual credits in the major I'm interested in? So any thoughts?
Yes, that's a great question. And once again, love how proactive you're being, that you're already thinking of this. A number of certificates and certifications actually are recommended for college credit. So depending on what major you're looking to major in, I would definitely do some research on if there are certificates or certifications that are worth college credit. For example, our Google Career certificates are recommended for up to 12 college credits, and there are a number of schools that accept it for prior learning. So like ASU and Purdue Global. So if you took one of these certificates, you could have, a certain amount of credits under your belt by the time that you start your first day at school. So depending on the major that you are interested in, I would definitely do some research on certificates and certifications that you can just take on your own time for credit.
Also,
awesome.
I just like to hop in, dual enrollment courses at like a community college are super helpful. I really wish I did that my summer before freshman year, but basically you can just take classes at a college and they count for your future college, even if it's like a different college.
It's awesome. All right, lightning round. It's a question for all three. I'm going to call you out. What's the one thing students should know about finding their career path? I'll go to you, Nehemiah, first.
Yeah, so what I put for this answer is like, your career path doesn't have to be like one cut and dry path. I think of it more as an evolving hat. So I never really even thought I'd be doing software engineering right now. And I don't think I would probably do it for the rest of my life. I'm really interested in research, or maybe even going to grad school or becoming a professor or even starting my own business and doing entrepreneurship. And so I think the possibilities are endless. And college is just a great way to meet very smart, talented people, learn about what they're passionate about. And it's a great time to develop your fundamental skills and just explore what you can do with life.
Awesome. Molly.
Yeah, that was a great answer, Nehemiah. Just piggybacking off of that, I think also leaning into obviously what you're passionate about, but also your transferable skills. You probably have a ton of skills that are relevant in corporate America or, you know, in a job that you might not even realize. So I was always the person that was making lists, or when I went on a trip, I was making the whole itinerary. And now my job is a lot of, you know, scheduling and project management, working with people. And that's something that I never thought I could actually make a career out of, but you definitely have transferable skills already under, you know, within your belt that you can definitely move over to the workplace.
All right, Cassie, you're our closer.
Yay. Well, I won't say anything groundbreaking, but I'll just reiterate what both Nehemiah and Molly said. Really, it's hard to have a fulfilling career with something that doesn't really excite you, but we know that's not always possible. So try to think about the things that you like reading or talking about, or who you even like working with. And then, as Molly said, you will find skills that ladder up to that. And the more skills you have, the rest will come naturally. And we're so fortunate that we're in today's economy where it's really easy to be entrepreneurial or pick some of those things up. And all you can do is start thinking about what excites you, start doing, and the rest will definitely come. And as Nehemiah said, it's not a one closed box. You're always going to be building that career path.
This is awesome. Thank you for the time. I know I learned a ton. I was actually taking some notes. I'm going to pass it back to Greg, who's going to close this out.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. What a great conversation. I mean, yeah, as Cassie said, think about those passions. Think about what really excites you every day. As Molly said, you know, keep in mind those transferable skills. And finally, Nehemiah, so smart. The possibilities are endless, and Big Future can help you get there. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today, but just want to thank Tarlin and all of our panelists for the wonderful conversation. And thank you to all of you at home or wherever you are joining us for Big Future Scholarships Week. We'd love to hear how today's event went. So after the event closes, you'll be automatically redirected to a feedback survey. We'd love to hear how today went. Please complete it. It helps us make our events even better in the future. And finally, if you missed anything from today, if you had to get up for a second or you had to, grab a drink or something, if you missed anything, you can go to bigfuture.org/live and rewatch this event on demand. It'll be available by next week. And this is just the first day of Big Future Scholarships Week. We're just getting started. So don't forget to join us tomorrow at the exact same time for Your College, Your Way, where you'll hear from representatives from New York University and from the University of Texas at Austin, who will answer your questions about planning for college. You don't want to miss it. So register today if you haven't already at bigfuture.org/live. Thanks everyone for joining us for our first night of Big Future Scholarships Week, and have a great night.